Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Here we share beginner-friendly coding tutorials on Scratch, Minecraft, web programming, Roblox, and many more. Today we're going to take a look at part 4 of our Advanced Obby game. In this tutorial, you will learn on how to make a vertical spinning obstacle and also a hanging obstacle. So let's get started. Alright, so I have opened up my Roblox file. So the first Obby obstacle I would be creating would be the vertical spinning obstacle. So the first thing I would do is I'm going to make this obstacles to be in a higher platform. So in order to get to the higher platform, I'm going to add some jumping platforms. So to make it more interesting, I'm going to have spear-shaped jumping obstacle. So I'll just go to the end of this obstacle, which is our horizontally spinning laser obstacles. So at the end of this, I'm going to add a spawn location. So I'll go to the toolbox and add a spawn location. All right, like that. But before that, I need to give some spacing. So I'll just increase the length of this a little bit longer so that I have enough space for this spinning obstacles to rotate. And then I'll add my spawn location here. All right, so I'm going to create a staircase, kind of like jumping platform, but in the spear shape. So I'll click on part and click on spear. All right, and then I'll make some copies of this. So you can click on Command C and Command V if you're using a MacBook to make copies. So if you're using a Windows, you can click on Control C and Control V. All right, so I have 10 spear-shaped platforms. So I'm going to arrange them. So I'll just move one here that is close to my platform. Next, I'm going to lift it up like that. So I'll just keep on doing that. So click on the Move tool to move your spear-shaped obstacles around. So I didn't arrange the spear-shaped parts in an order or in a straight line because it's more fun if it is like in a zigzag pattern format where it gives you options like, can I jump to this platform? Or what happens if I jump to this platform? I can jump to either this platform or this platform. So next I'll just use different colors. All right, and then I'll just change the size of some spear parts to be really big. All right, next I'm going to anchor all these spear parts. So click on anchor option. All right, now I'm going to add a path. So I'm going to click on block and add a path. And click on scale and make it bigger. So this is going to be my starting platform after I finish my spear-shaped obstacle. So I'm going to click on move and move it up and anchor it. All right, next I'm going to click on Toolbox and I'm going to add a spawn location. All right, so now I'm going to create my spinning obstacle. So first I'm going to get 2 block parts and I'm going to color them separately in order to identify them more easily. So I'm going to color one as yellow and the other one to be blue. So I'm going to name the yellow part or the yellow block to be my non-moving part. And then my blue part would be my spinning part. So I'm going to rename it as so the non-moving part is actually going to be a cylinder base. So I'm going to drag it a little bit longer in terms of the width and then increase the height to be 4 blocks. So you can see that I'm using the grid right now. So you can see the height of this is equal to 4 studs. All right, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that the non-moving part is anchored because this is not going to move and I need to make it still. So I'll just keep it anchored. Now I'm going to increase the length of this spinning part in terms of the x-axis actually. So I'll just increase it to be a really long beam. But make sure that the length of this beam is not more than the height of this spacing because I need some space in order to make sure that it spins or rotates in the vertical space without touching the ground. So next I'm going to add the join. So I'll just move it a little bit to a wider distance so that I can see both sides that is facing each other. But now I'm going to add my join. Under the model tab, you can find the types of joints you have. So for this platform, I'm going to use a hinge. So I'm going to start placing my attachment on the spinning part and then connect it to the side that is facing on my non-moving part like this. All right, and then I'll just make it come closer. Okay, so now I'm going to select both the moving part, the spinning part, and the non-moving part. And then lift them or change the position so that it's next to my higher platform. Okay, so if you notice here that I have given a small spacing between this platform and this platform. This is also to make sure that I give some space for the spinning part to actually spin freely without actually touching each other. So when I create more copies or when I create the obstacle to further along, I need to make sure that there's some spacing between each of them. So there are some slight adjustments we have to make because right now if you play it, this spinning part would not actually move, although we added a hinge property. So to do that, I'm going to change some properties of the hinge constraint. So I'm going to find the hinge constraint that is under the spinning part, and I'm going to find the property table, which you can find under the view. And if I go down, I do have a property that is called acutated type. So I'm going to set it to be motor, and then I'm going to set the angular velocity to be 3 and the maximum torque to be 100,000. So the angular velocity is actually the speed of your spinning, and the maximum torque is actually the strength at which your spinning part is rotating. So once I have done that, next I'm going to copy the same part and then make copies so that I have a long obstacle with spinning parts that spin in the vertical direction. Alright, so here you can notice there are some spaces that I have kept. So make sure to have these spaces. Alright, next I'm going to add another platform, which is also going to have a base or a spawn location. Alright, and I'm going to anchor it. And I'm going to add in a spawn location. Next, I'm going to create the second obstacle, which is the hanging obstacles. For this obstacle, I'm going to use two parts. One is the base that is holding up my truss, and the other one is the rod, which is going to connect the base and my truss part. So first, I'm going to add a part or a block, and I'm going to rename this as base. All right, and I'm going to add a truss obstacle, which I can find on my toolbox. So I'm going to find the single truss beam like that. Okay, so next I'm going to move this part above the truss and then add a little bit higher up than the truss height, but it should be kind of like a roof. So this would be my holder that is holding my truss actually. Next, I'm going to add the joint, which is going to be a rod. All right, so I'm going to model and I'm going to click on the joints option or constraint options, and I'm going to find a rod constraint. So next I'm going to click on the space here and then connect it. So move it up and connect it to the top of my truss side. So I'll just keep it in the middle like that. So as you can see, I have a rod constraint. And on the truss, I do have an attachment. Okay, so now I'm going to click on the rod constraint, and I do have to change a few properties because I need to make sure that the two attachments are equal. So make sure that the rod constraint, the attachment 0 is the attachment 0, which you can find under the base, and the attachment 1 would be the attachment name or the attachment that is under the truss. So it's attachment 1 right now. If it is changed, you can always make sure that they are the same. Make sure that this first attachment should be on the base, and then the second attachment should be on the truss. Okay, so I have fixed that. Oh, it's already fixed. So now I'm going to change the property of this base. So I don't want it to be shown on my Obby game. So I'm going to set the transparency of this base to be 1. Like that. And I'm going to click on the truss and the base, and I'm going to group them together as one model. And also make sure that the base part actually is anchored, because if you don't anchor the base, the whole model together with the truss would actually fall down when you play the game. So all I have to do is now move it up. Right now I'm going to make copies and I'm going to place them at different heights. Right, so once I have done that, to end this obstacle, I'm going to add a block, which is going to be a platform again. All right, so we have completed 2 obstacles. One is the spinning part that is actually spinning in the vertical directions, and the hanging obstacles here. So you can make more of these and then make it like one big obstacle or a very long obstacle. So that's all for today. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to check out the next section of this tutorial, and don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you. Bye bye.